Good morning. Granny Gear here for Old Guy on a Bike. And yet another episode of the Cycling Towards 70 series, where I talk about issues that relate to us, well, as older cyclists. And in this video, I've been thinking lately about improving. Can we improve still as an older cyclist? And if so, what does that look like? How do we keep getting better when age is telling us we can't? Thoughts on that in this video. Stay tuned. I'm out for a little trail ride. Come on along. We'll chat, you and I. You know, when we start off cycling, it's typically at a younger age, whatever that might be. Improvements, well, it's easy to measure, isn't it? Because as you do something more, you do it longer, you tend to do it better. Your fitness comes up, your skills come up. Improvements are easy to see, easy to measure. Well, what about me? What about me at my age? In that case, if I'm using the typical metrics for improvement, say the Strava stuff like further, higher, faster, well, that could be a problem. Because age is working against me. Now, I'm pretty fit for a guy that's close to 70, but listen, that ain't going to go on forever. My raw power is dropping. My VO2 max is now, it's VO2 meh. My sprints aren't as sprinty. My body is just not performing to what it used to be able to do. And although I can maintain to a certain point, it's a losing battle. So Father Time is eventually going to have his way with us, and he is. How can I say with, well, confidence that we can still be improving as older cyclists? Well, what we need to do maybe is change the game. What if we take the idea of improving, we flip it over and look at it from a whole different direction? What if we do that? What if we say that improving isn't just higher, farther, faster? Something a little bit more subtle. Now, if you are an older cyclist and you still have some, good deal of fitness gains to gain, so maybe you're just getting into cycling and maybe your weight isn't where you want it to be and your fitness isn't where it can be, well, in that case, you truly can still make those kinds of gains. You can go further, higher, faster for a while. But even eventually, that's going to run out. So we need to look at different ways of feeling like we're progressing in our cycling, if that's important to us. And I think for a lot of us, well, it probably is. One of the ways we can do that is to look at things outside of actually riding the bike that can help us improve. For instance, how's your nutrition? Could you improve that? Could you look at how you're eating, what you're eating, how you're resting, alcohol intake, those types of things? Is that a place where you can add some refinement, make some changes? Because if your engine's running better, your personal engine, you will improve as a cyclist. A healthier body is a body that's able to perform at a higher level. And at our advanced ages, that becomes even more important than it is when you're young. Or how about bringing some kind of a strength routine into it? You know, as we get into our older years, it's so easy to lose muscle mass. Now, cyclists, of course, our legs could be really great, but we got these little T-Rex skinny little arms, because we don't think we need them. Mountain bikers notwithstanding. If you're a road rider, the only thing your arms are there for is to hold on to the handlebars and reach down for a water bottle. And with electronic shifting, hey, it got even easier, didn't it? But a strength routine, it has a lot to do with how we function in life. It has a lot to do with our life expectancy and how we are going to do, or how well we'll do in our later years. It's a determining factor. So bringing a strength routine in not only makes you a better cyclist, makes you better for life. So there is that, but it can get a little more nuanced than that once we actually get back on the bike and we're looking for improvements there, but we still can. You ever ridden with somebody, maybe it was on a mountain bike, grab bike, road bike, doesn't matter. When you watch them, you think to yourself, my goodness, they do that well. They really make that look easy. Why don't we be that? Why don't we put that as something to shoot for? Remember I said that improving just comes naturally when you do something more and longer and etc. And that's truth to that. However, there's no guarantee that you'll become truly good at something just because you do it for a long time. As an example, you ever known anybody that cooked food all their life for themselves or for others and, well, they never really got very good at it? Improvement is often intentional. You know, in our road cycling group, we're all in our mostly 60s, 70s, 50s maybe. The ones that I trust the most to ride next to, to ride close to them, when things are getting a little blurry and a little frantic, and things could go wrong and you want somebody to hold their composure, hold their line, to know what to do, those are the men and women usually have a racing background on a bike. And what they learned, because they had to, they learned how to cope, how to be in the right place, how to know what to do, how to handle their bike in situations like that, so they're not a danger to others or to themselves. In other words, if you want to win, you got to finish, and you got to finish well. So you need to be intentional with building those skills, because you could ride a bike for a long time and carry with you really some bad habits. And as older athletes, a lot of times, we can work on those. For instance, on the road bike, how's your descending skills? If you were to evaluate yourself, how well do you do at that? You got gravity working for you, so you're not requiring any raw power, like can you hill climb better? No, you're descending. How's your line choice? Are you using your brakes right? Are you dragging them all the way through the corner, uncertain and unsteady? That's a place that we can improve even as an older cyclist. There are other things. We can get a bike fit if we've never done that before. If we're more comfortable, more efficient, we've improved. And the list can go on and on and on. We're looking for little micro improvements in the end to become a smoother, more efficient rider that, well, it's befitting our age and grace. You know, the other day, I discovered that I don't know how to breathe. Oh, I thought I knew how to breathe. I've been doing it for a long time, haven't I? Up until now. Thank you, Lord. But it came to me in the middle of a fairly long climb the other day that, quite frankly, I don't breathe all that well. I tend to take short, shallow breaths. I tend to sometimes even hold my breath when I'm climbing when I have no business doing that. So I was watching a video the other day, YouTube, talking about breathing deeper, more functionally as far as in an athletic sense, to get more oxygen in, to get more carbon dioxide out, and therefore get your engine more to run on. And you know what? I practiced that the other day on a hill climb. Watched my heart rate change. By the top of the climb, I was actually starting to, to kind of settle into it, but I was going just as fast. Interesting. Old dogs and new tricks. You'd think by now that I knew how to breathe, but I didn't know how to breathe well. And it's one of those little things that even at an advanced age, well, we can improve. Now, right now, I'm riding a mountain bike, which, man, if there's any place that tests your skills and ability to improve something, it's not a mountain bike, because it's this giant Rubik's Cube of trying to figure out, get all the colors on one side or another. And, the terrain, the challenges, where you put your weight, how you brake, how do you corner. I've been working on cornering better. Again, YouTube video, but working on cornering better in a way I'd never done before. And I don't know necessarily, I'm sure I'm not faster than I used to be when I was younger. I'm certainly not braver, but that doesn't really matter, because what other capabilities I have as far as speed or, higher, faster, further and all of that, whatever that is, I want to be able to do it better. And I think that's a goal that even older cyclists can shoot for. You just got to figure out what better is for you. All right, that's about it. I was just thoughts out of my little head as I get fairly close to 70, and I keep thinking to myself, I want to stay vibrant. I want to stay interested in cycling. I love riding a bike. I don't think I'll ever get tired of that until the day they put me in the ground. But until then, if I can make small adjustments and continue to refine and challenge myself and feel like I'm making improvements, well, I find that very rewarding. And one of these days, I might be one of those riders that somebody looks at and says, wow, you really made that look easy. And that, for me, is a fine compliment. All right, I'm going to go finish my ride. You guys have a great week and or weekend. And as always, well, go ride your bikes, whatever kind of bike it is.